So what I was seeing when looking at this is that we've got two mountains. It's the two competing cities, towers, to climb. And on one side, there is the mountain of the world, which we'll also call coldness to the Lord. And on the other side, we've got the mountain of the Lord. So over here we've got hot. Also Zion, or New Jerusalem. And all that wanting to feel settled, wanting to go, okay, you know what, I'm secure. What that is the gravity that keeps pulling us down here. I was suddenly going, let's see, let's do a person down here, stick figure. I was going, why is it that that it's so easy to get lukewarm? Why don't we just keep sliding out into darkness more and more and more? There's kind of an equilibrium point. Once you've tasted a little bit of the Lord, you kind of go, I can't do that anymore. But it's hard to sustain this. So why do we end up in there? That gravity. There's a certain point where, going up this way is actually harder after you've had a taste of righteousness, a taste of truth. It's like you start to get that, there's a song on an album I listen to sometime where it's just a sort of spontaneous prophetic word, and she's talking about how when you get in the courts of the wicked, you start to feel gross because your eyes have been opened, you've been given a taste of the truth and the goodness of the Lord. And so you start getting back into this stuff, and it's like, that's, it's gross. You end up sliding back down here. Okay, I got to get back to God because I don't, ugh. But there's also a resistance into here because it gets hard, pressing into him all the time. You start to go, wait a minute, I used to nibble at that stuff a little when I was down here, and I'm missing it now. I've gotten rid of all of it, and I'm kind of hungry because I'm not tasting that anymore. And it slides us back down into there. Which creates a sort of inertia of like, sort of stay where you are, right? If you go up there a little bit, it's going to be hard. If you go up that way a little bit hard. So just kind of hang out here. It's nice and easy right here. 1 foot in the kingdom and 1 foot out of the kingdom. Feels kind of good. Our flesh feels kind of good, but our spirit feels kind of good, and we kind of compromise right there. Thought it was interesting when you think about Israel in the wilderness. What they complained about was they wanted to get back to whatever it was where they were, in a sort of middle place again. And then we have 2 generations, because one generation was ended in the wilderness and didn't get to go into the promised land. The other generation started in the wilderness, which I think a lot about the generation that ended in the wilderness because of the sort of tragedy of that choice and the circumstances behind it. But I never really think about the generation that started in the wilderness, that was born in that wilderness traveling. That's all they knew, was going around that mountain, following that cloud, Their earliest memories are being in the camp with the tabernacle and that fire and that cloud always there. But they didn't want to go into the promised land either. And that doesn't need an illustration. I just think it's interesting that the first generation was in slavery. And what did they complained pretty much a lot. When they're still in Egypt and Moses kills the Egyptian, and the man who sees him do it is like, wait, you're going to kill me too? Oh, you're going to bring, leave me where I am. When Moses goes to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh says, let them make bricks without straw. The Israelites come and go, what are you doing? You're messing it up. We don't have it good, but now it's getting worse. Can't you just leave us in this sort of middle realm of we're slaves, but at least we're not, in a bad way. We're just in a bad way. And we'd like to stay here. Then they get to the Red Sea. And it's like, there's a sea there, and there's Pharaoh there, and you should have left us slaves again because we're going to get killed. You brought us out here, and they even say, wouldn't it have been okay to put us in graves back there because there's plenty of room for graves back in Egypt? Why'd you bring us out here to kill us? There's the complaint, we don't have water, we're thirsty. Why'd you bring us out into the wilderness to kill us again? Complaint of the manna. Oh, we really liked the food that was in Egypt. Can't we go back there and have food again? Because this manna stuff gets boring after a while. There's this constant need to go back. But when we want to go back where all the armed guys are and face Egyptians for them, but then their kids, when it's time to go in to the promised land, they're like, there's all these armed guys there we don't want to deal with. Can't we go back to eating manna and drinking water out of rocks? There's just this incredible inertia of, I don't want to go to the next thing. It's not really so much about what the thing is that you're in, so much as that I found a sort of equilibrium here. I found this place where I can kind of get along. It's not the best, it's not the worst. Can't we just hang out?